on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for Later Daters. This is season one. Hopefully, it's season one. Hopefully, we are going to get another second series from Michelle Obama and Netflix on this Later Daters because I enjoyed the series. I really did enjoy the series. I hope it got some good ratings enough that they would do a second season. I like it. I like this new this is the way I like reality shows. I'm really no longer too much into reality shows where it's the same people every season, like the Real Housewives franchise. I think that sort of, for me, is kind of playing out because after a while, I mean, the storylines start to feel fake, contrived. I like meeting fresh new people each season. So if you ever watch any of the shows I review, Married at First Sight, Ready to Love. I like new people each season. So hopefully this, like just like other things on Netflix, The Ultimatum, which I'm gonna start reviewing, y'all. The Ultimatum, go start watching episode one because I'm gonna get to episode one review hopefully this weekend. But The Ultimatum, Love is Blind. I like fresh new people. And I especially like this series because it concentrated on an older demographics, which of course I'm an older demographics. And I also liked it because it didn't make it about competition. Because at our age, we ain't trying to be out here competing with no other women or no other men. I mean, we different at this age. So much about it that I liked it. I liked the diversity. I liked that they had a nice mix of, different ethnicities and backgrounds on the show. So all around. But in the end, y'all, I got a question for you out there. The question is, can people change old habits? Can you teach old dogs new tricks? That's the saying. Because when you get to this age of dating, and a lot of these people have already been married, except Willie. Willie out here still having 5 kids with no marriages. But anyway, everyone else has been married once, twice, some people already 3 times. And obviously, if you're still here, your marriages didn't work. And I think a lot of these people came on the show because they said, hey, I want to meet someone new. I want to meet someone new. Now, and if any of you guys watch my reviews, one of the things I really, really harp on when it comes to trying to build a successful relationship is you've got to be open to change. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. I think a lot of people's game plan in dating is to find someone just like myself so that I don't have to do any changing to make them happy. And then because they're just like me, they won't need to do any changing to make me happy. I think that is the majority of people's game plan. And that's why I think it fails. It fails for so many reasons. One reason why it fails is you're never going to find anyone like you. So it becomes almost impossible to find it. 2 is, even once you think you found someone who's just like you, typically it's because you haven't learned enough about them. And lo and behold, as you get to know the person, even though you think initially, oh, we have so much in common, as you get to know a person, you start to actually discover the things that aren't like you, and then that ends up being what breaks you apart. The other part I don't like about trying to find someone just like yourself is you're going to change. You're going to change. You're going to change within 5 years, and that partner you're with is going to change for 5 years. So if you got into a relationship, say year 1, because you were exactly alike, within 5 years, you would have changed and he would have changed. And as a result, now what happens? You end up breaking up. That's why I believe most relationships, marriages only last maybe 5 to 7 years, because I think it's around that time that people start to change. Something has changed in your life within 5 to 7 years. A job has changed. Maybe you've had children. Maybe your children are gone, when we're older. Maybe you're retiring. Maybe you had a health issue. Maybe, maybe you lost a parent. Or maybe you moved to a new city. There's so many things that happen within 5 to 7 years. If you're the type of person that only looks for relationships that can only withstand the time in the moment, then you won't be prepared for the change. So when I see older people say, I gave up on dating, don't give up on dating. Why? Why should you give up on dating? People give up on dating because they've given up looking for someone just like them. But if you decide to change your mindset and you decide to say, hey, I should give up on dating the way I used to date, but hopefully this show taught you that there are people out there who still want to date. It's almost saying, hey, why should I have a party or go to a party because ain't nobody going to show up to the party? This show is telling you that there are tons of people out here at all ages still looking for partnerships, still looking for something, a companion. People are still looking because I think by nature we want companionship. I don't think that ever goes away. I don't care what age we become. I think we all seek companionship on some level, which means you're never too old to date. The problem is if you're trying to date by this old standard that I'm saying, which is I want to find someone just like me, then you're going to have a problem. If you're trying to date saying I don't want to change anything about myself at all, I don't want to blend with anyone, I don't want to compromise with anyone, I don't want to give and take here, then you're not going to find anyone. Now, if you're that person, yep, stay off the dating market, because what's going to happen is you're just going to become frustrated. You're going to become disillusioned, and then you're not going to enjoy it. So when we look at these people who are on the show, we got Willie and Anise. We have Lori out here. We have Suzanne. We have Pam. We had this new guy, Greg, we really didn't see much of. They really didn't even need to bring him on in the last hour. I don't even know why they showed his storyline. And we have Nate. The question is, all of these people came on the show talking about why they haven't found anyone. Now, remember, did they change anything? So first off, we had Willie and Anise. Willie and Anise. Well, Anise, remember her story when she came on was that all the men that she tends to date, they can't stay out the candy store. That's what she told us. She said there was a problem with her finding a man who wanted to be faithful to her. That was her opening line. Well, as it comes to find out, Anise likes to date pretty boys or handsome men, or she brags about it all the time. She dates the star football player. She has a whole list of things where she flexed and talked about, oh, I dated multi-million-dollar moguls, all these things, right? And where has that landed her? That has landed her with a bunch of cheating men. Because what Anise was doing was, it looks like she was choosing men for the outside package and not the inside package. Well, how did Anise do on this show? Did she come on the show trying to date differently? Or did she come on the show really trying to date the same exact way, but looking for a different outcome? And I would say it was the latter. She came on the show not really trying to change the way she dates. She came on the show trying to date the same exact way, but hoping for a different outcome. And when she found Willie, Big Willie, she thought she hit the jackpot. Wow, now I've hit the jackpot. Here is his fine specimen of a man, 55 years old, a young tenderoni. And she was like, wow. Wow, Willie. Wow, Big Willie is what we can call him. And she said that, hey, we're going to have a good time. I've typically had cheaters in the past. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Willie a clean slate. And she talked about what great bond they had. They talked on the phone for 2 hours. And she was so happy she didn't have to minimize herself with him. She could run around and talk about how she had a PhD degree. Somebody dropped down in my comments and told me Anise's PhD degree is in ministry. I don't know. I ain't verified it. I have no idea. And I'm not trying to minimize her PhD, but it's not like she got a PhD in physics. But anyway, and I'm not saying it ain't hard work to get a PhD, period. I'm just saying, she never really did tell us what her doctorate was in, but they said her doctorate is in ministry. And I said, that's unverified. So that's allegedly, I don't know. And she was just so happy. She was crying on the screen, y'all, talking about how she can be herself around Willie. She was so happy, almost like Willie was her dream come true. basically saying, this is what I wanted all along. I wanted a tenderoni man, young, good looking, in shape, but I want a different outcome. Did Anise get a different outcome? Well, it looks like she didn't. It looks like she didn't. According to the latest article out there, Willie and Anise are no longer together. Sorry to tell you, but who could have predicted it? We all knew. It says ultimately, Anise shared an update. Ultimately, however, Anise and Willie weren't a long term match. Duh. They dated for 6 months and are still on good terms. Of course, they are. Anise recently told People, we realize we don't have enough in common to build anything on, but we're still friendly. So what do you mean? You sat up there and talked about how great the relationship was. We don't have enough in common to build anything on. It was all built on superficial looks. Anise is doing the same old type of dating she's been doing. It's the same old type of thing, superficial, but we're still friendly. Of course, you're still friendly. You're probably still friendly and you could be friends with benefits. If I see you, if Willie sees Anise and runs into her, they can still be friendly and friends with benefits. He lives really far from me. And we come to find out when people in Atlanta, far could be 30 miles away because of the traffic. When it came down to direction, he was trying to go. When it came down to the direction he was trying to go and what I was trying to do, it just didn't match up. Basically, where he was trying to go was see a whole lot of women. That's where he was trying to go. To the candy store that Anise talked about before. Willie was on his way to the candy store because when you saw the scenes of them kissing and tonguing each other down on the rock at the little stream or lake or wherever they were, Willie said, girl, you want me. You want me. Willie was telling that girl, man, I just went in for a little kiss and you darn near bit my lips off. Ow. Willie was clowning her. Willie was low key clowning her, saying, when I first met you, I could see the enthusiasm in your eyes. I could see you basically wanted to jump my bones. You wanted Big Willie. You wanted me. That's what he told her. Then when he kissed her, he said, dang, I just went in for like a little kiss. Next thing I know, you got your tongue all down my throat. You drawing me in and I could feel you almost want to suck my whole face in. That's what Big Willie said. Girl, you want me. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you this Big Willie. I'm going to give you this Big Willie for about 6 months. And then after that, I'm going to run on back over here and date all these other women I'm used to dating. So he said when it came down to the direction he was trying to go and what I was trying to do, it just didn't match up. Despite not finding a partner on the show, Anise told AARP that the experience in working with Logan, the matchmaker, changed my life. I'm going to tell you, of all the shows I've watched, this matchmaker was one of the best because this matchmaker wasn't afraid to tell these people what they needed to hear. Now, whether or not they take her advice is a whole nother thing. This matchmaker told Anise, you're really not open, you're guarded. And what the one thing that the matchmaker should have told Anise is that she's superficial. She really should have told her that to her face, but she didn't. So we're going to all tell her that right now. Anise, you're superficial, you're shallow. And if you just want to keep having the same old outcomes, keep dating the way you're dating. Date for eye candy. But don't come complaining about how you can't find no man. Because you could find a man. You have the bait to attract a man. The problem is the man that you want. And the man that you want produces the same outcomes. But you're not willing to change in order to get the different outcomes. That's what it comes down to. That's the question everyone has to ask themselves. You want different outcomes in dating? Do you really? Are you willing to do what you need to do to have different outcomes? That's what you got to ask yourself. When you say you're ready to date, when you say you're ready to meet the love of your life, a partner for life, wherever stage you're in, are you willing to make the changes that you need to make to be with that person? And most people would say yes, but really it's a no. It's a no. They're not willing to make the changes. Not at all. Another person, we're going to move on, that was not willing to make the changes was Nate. Nate wasn't willing to make the changes. So by the end of this show, we realized that Nate dropped Michelle too, because what Nate wasn't ready to let go of was Nate wasn't ready to let go of his OCD and being very particular. Plus, Nate is in a really good spot. Let me tell you something. Nate is essentially married to Jackie because marriage and companionship provides two different types of comfort. It provides, of course, the romantic comfort, right? Whereby you have a romantic interest, sex, basically, right? A person you can be intimate with physically. The other part of companionship is just someone to hang around, someone to go to events to, do things with, go to dinner with, someone that you have shared interests, someone that you can just talk to, someone you can be real with, someone that you can trust, someone that you can open up to and share your deepest, darkest secrets or your deepest, darkest thoughts. Well, if you look at Nate, he already has that in Jackie. Jackie really is covering at least a third, possibly half of what a wife would cover for Nate. Nate has in Jackie at least a third or a half of a wife's job. That's why it would be difficult for another woman to come in Nate's life, because what she would do is she'd already see that Jackie occupies a lot of what a woman would be, because you want to be able to share your deepest, darkest secrets. Nate's really already doing that with Jackie. You want a companion. You want someone that you can banter with. You want someone that you could joke with. You can have a good time with. Jackie's already providing all of that to Nate. So really, in the end, the only thing that Nate is missing is the physical. He's missing the physical, and he's also missing a woman in the home with him. So when he's out dating, Nate is only looking for really one or two things. He's looking for a woman he can have sex with, and he's looking for a woman that he could live with. Because I think the only reason Nate and Jackie are not together is because they don't think that they could live together. That's what they don't think they could do. They don't think that they could live together because Nate is OCD. He's real particular. And what Jackie is saying is, I don't want to really live under that condition. He's just too particular. But Nate and Jackie, I'm going to tell you something. You need to start reimagining your life differently. Okay? Because I remember at the end of the show, I don't know if y'all saw it, Nate gave Jackie some flowers and said, you know what? I really want to show appreciation to you for being with me in this process and on this journey. He said a heartfelt appreciation. And he said, I know you're out here trying to find that person. And he said, and he's trying to find that person and she's trying to find that special guy. And what he said was, who knows what the future holds? And then he looked at Jackie and he stared at her for a long time. And then he kind of bit his lip like this, like almost like, you could be my future. I saw it. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I saw it. And what we actually need to do, instead of finding Nate a new woman and Jackie a new man, we really ought to be working out how can we make Jackie and Nate a couple. And what Jackie and Nate have to start rethinking about is, what could their relationship look like? Everybody always thinks a relationship has to fit in a box. But Jackie and Nate really could be the couple whereby they're together, but they just don't live together. They could easily be that couple. You know, like she comes over and she spends the night, but she can go back home into her house. Like he could live in his house so he can have all his OCD and everything in the same place, and she can keep her place. Because I still do believe that there probably is some sexual chemistry between them. He says they're just friends, but I think what it is Jackie can't put up with Nate all the time, and Nate can't put up with Jackie all the time. But I could see a situation where these two could be together, but they just don't live together. And what they could do is take the parts of their relationship that they love, because without them doing this, I'm telling you, what woman really wants to be in Nate's life? I wouldn't. Jackie's way too close and too involved in Nate's life. And I know people are going to say, well, most people just aren't used to men and women being platonic friends. No, that's not it. That's not it. I've experienced plenty of those. I'm not that woman who doesn't believe that you can have a platonic male friend or a male can have a platonic female friend. I'm not that woman. But the closeness that Jackie and Nate has is beyond platonic friends. This dropping over unannounced, this is a different level. This is a whole different level. Going into his refrigerator when she wants to. I don't even do that over my girlfriend's house. I'll be like, girl, do you have any of this? I don't just go in people's refrigerator. The comfortability that they have with each other is beyond friendship. Plus, they share a child together. It's a whole nother level. This is beyond friends. As a female coming into Nate's life, I wouldn't want to come into this. I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. And so, you know what? That's what I would challenge Nate and Jackie to do, to think outside the box of what their relationship could look like. They really could travel together. They could have real companionship. They could do a lot of things. Really, really, they could. And I think that they would have a happy life together. Because Nate, what can you really do in the bedroom? Not too much. You already got a bad vertebrae and a bad knee. There ain't too much more that you can do. I'm pretty sure that Jackie can satisfy your needs, Nate. I'm pretty sure of it. And at this time, Jackie don't seem to have no other suitors. She's really not getting no loving from no one else. So whatever little bit Nate can do, I'm sure that he can satisfy her too. Y'all need to just go on over there, figure it out, draft a plan, figure out what works, what doesn't work, agree to that, and just do it. Just do it. But Nate likes to sit out here and hunt. And he tried to circle on back to Lisa, but Lisa told him, no, thank you. I know Lisa said, I'm already in a relationship. No, she wasn't. But what she was saying is, I don't want to be second fiddle. And that's what I'm saying. She didn't want to be the backup plan, nor would she want to be the backup plan of Jackie. Neither one. And nobody's going to want to be the backup plan of Jackie. No one. And no man, Jackie, is going to want to be a backup plan to Nate. Vice versa, both. So, girl, you really sabotaging your own dating experience, or maybe you're not looking to date. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on with Jackie. I don't know what's going on with Jackie. Who knows? But Michelle didn't last. Michelle was definitely too feisty. Michelle was definitely a little bit too much argumentative. I'll give Michelle this tip. Girl, if that's the way you are on dates, already trying to get someone to change, and you only on the second date, no wonder you ain't got a man. No wonder you don't have a man. Because the way that she was going in on Nate, telling him what he needed to do, you're this, you're that, you're this or that on a second date. Yeah, you're not going to get no third date. Not at all. I think she calls it, she didn't even know that she's feisty. She goes, I'm not feisty, girl. You don't know who you are. There's so many people still in the dating world that don't know who they are. They see themselves through a different lens. You're absolutely spicy, Michelle. And honestly, on this date, you also were argumentative. And I want to say that that's going to stop you from dating. That's going to stop you from dating. Now, as we move on to the next person that also isn't ready for no change is Lori. Lori came on here saying that she was always friend zoned by men. And guess what happened? Friend zoned. And not only did she get friend zoned, she constantly chased the man that showed zero interest in her romantically. Zero interest. He finally admitted that really the only reason why I text you or send you bottles of wine is because I kind of want to use your connections that you have out in the media world so I can come to one of your events, or I can have you promote my wine. Really, Lori, the only reason Felton really hangs around you is to use you for your connections or to promote any type of business thing he has around. I don't even know why you even consider Felton a friend, because the way Felton described your relationship, you're really not even friends. He more looks like you as a business connect. A business connect. It's almost like, oh yeah, I know this lady named Lori. She could hook you up over here. I'll refer you. He doesn't really even talk about any friendship things with you. It's all business. And the only reason he took you out this time was to be on TV. I mean, you never had gone out on a date all this time. All of a sudden, he decides he's going to call you and take you out for your birthday. And the only reason he did it was so he could be on TV. He only did it for his own gain. Lori, he's only your friend for his own personal gain. Not only do you need to stop thinking you're going to be romantically connected to Felton, you actually need to stop thinking that he's your friend. He's not even your friend. He's a user and he's your business connection. That's it. He's an acquaintance. That's the bucket you actually need to put Felton in. Acquaintance, which is okay. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But I don't even know why. It's interesting that she even chose Felton as her love interest. As flamboyant as Felton is, he's really out the box in his style and his presentation. And she somehow or another loved that, because I think what Lori thinks she wants is she also wants a man that has a big personality. So maybe Felton is quiet with her because he's really not interested in her. But when he's out and about in the streets, in the crowd, I think Felton's probably really outgoing and talkative. So I think the persona we saw with Felton with Lori was quiet and reserved because he didn't really want to open up his mouth much because he don't really like her that way. But I think what Lori likes about Felton, um, maybe when she sees him at a party, is he's probably a social butterfly, and that's what she liked. But Lori came on this show wanting a different outcome, but doing the same old things. She gives off friend vibes to almost everyone. I mean, I would hang out with Lori. Lori, you and I can hang out, girl. I like you. I really do like you. But I understand how men are not attracted to you because you give off homie vibes. I mean, did anyone notice that when the expert told Lori you need to get rid of the big glasses because you kind of hide behind those glasses, Lori not only told the expert, no, I'm not going to get rid of them. Did you notice what she had on at her birthday party? She had on a t-shirt that also had glasses on it. So this girl doubled down. So when you talk about being stubborn, you are so stubborn and wanting to do something different. Not only did you tell the expert no to suggestions that she had, you doubled down. You put the glasses on your face and you put the glasses on your chest. So you double sent the signal that this is what you bring in. I thought that was really, really interesting. So, I know Lori always wants to say that she's intimidating of men, but I think it's the way she likes it. She likes it. So she's not going to get any different outcome either. She's not ready to change. And I know she had this day with Martin. He came to the birthday party. He showed up. He tried to ask her, hey, can we have another date in a more intimate setting? And Lori said, I got too much going on around here. I can't concentrate on that. Girl, if you really want to go, all you have to do is say, yeah, that would be nice. Absolutely. Let's set up a date. You let me know when you want to do it. It would take all of 5 seconds for you just to say that. She got real masculine. She don't want to give up control. This is why I tell people when they always tell me, well, I have to be in control. No, you don't. You want to be in control. No one is making you be in control, especially at this age. And you say, oh, it's a bad habit. I don't think so. Like I keep saying over and over again, if people are real with themselves and you say, oh, I have to be this way, who's making you do it? Who's making you make all these decisions? You're making all these decisions. So at any point in time, you can decide you don't want to do it anymore. And anytime you can quit it, just like you can quit a job, just like you can quit a marriage. Anytime you can quit a certain behavior, but it's hard because it's kind of like being an addict. It's almost like being an addict. People are addicted to drugs. People are addicted to alcohol. Sometimes people are addicted to a persona, the way they're showing up. And in order to get rid of it, it's hard work. It takes diligence to do it. Just like getting off a drug takes hard work. And you may have relapses, but you have to stay sober. That's why you hear people say, oh, I'm 30 days sober. I'm 60 days sober. I'm 365 days sober. How about we start a sober program for being controlling? How about we do that, Lori? How about we start a program? I remember there was a lady, I think her Shonda Rhimes. She said she was going to go on a 365 year of saying yes because she was a no person. She always said no. And a person who says no is typically because they like to be in control. They say no to you, right? Your suggestion, your ideas, your whatever. And they say yes to their own ideas, their own suggestion, their own way of doing things. So the one way you can get rid of being controlling is to do a year of yes, right? Replace all those no's with yeses, right? Say to yourself, in times when I've said no, could I replace those times with yeses? And you say, well, no. So you say, hey, someone asked me, do I want to go to this restaurant? But typically, I don't like that type of food. So typically, I would say no. This time, because you're in a year of yes, say yes. Go to the restaurant. Anyway, just go. Get to the restaurant. Sit down at the restaurant. Look over the whole menu. You may not like everything on the menu, but find one thing that you could eat, even if it's just some plain old white rice, even if it's just some chicken noodle soup. No matter what, pick one thing and say yes, because let me tell you what you've just done. One is you've gotten out of the no. Two, you've experienced something new. Three is you've said yes to someone which will make them happy, right? And the least thing that could happen is you went to a restaurant and you didn't overeat and you didn't gain no extra weight. There you go. There you go. Try a year of yes. That's what I'm going to challenge older people to start doing. Trying a year of yes. That in saying yes, you don't have to say yes to everything. Trying a new restaurant, I don't have to say yes to everything on the menu, but I might can find me some white rice I can eat, a green salad, a piece of chicken, right? Some soup. I might like the dessert. Who knows? Find it. Find it. A year of yes. Try to be sober. Go sober with this controlling behavior. Try something new. Because I'm going to tell you, of all the people on here, there's only one person who's still kind of together, and that is Suzanne and Avery. Suzanne and Avery, from what I've seen, they're still together. They're still dating in some form, some fashion. And you know why they're still together? Because Suzanne turned some of her no's into yeses. Remember, Suzanne didn't want to go out with a man who wasn't a Georgia Bulldog fan. So not only did Suzanne go out with a man who wasn't a Georgia Bulldog fan, she went out with a man who was a fan of a rival college. Suzanne also didn't want to go out with a man who had young children. She now went out with that man, right? Because what she said was, there are things that I don't like about Avery. I really don't like that he has young children. And I understood it because she's like, I don't want to really have all that because my children are grown. Her children are grown. Some of you pointed out that you think there might be some income disparity between Suzanne and Avery. You guys think Avery's gold digging. I don't know about that. I can't remember what Avery did for a living, but I do know that if he's got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old home, what he's doing is he's still paying for those children. He's still paying maybe alimony, or he's still paying child support, and he's probably still paying for college. So Avery's money ain't all his money right now. That's true. So his money might be more limited than Suzanne's because he's still got young kids to care for. He might still have an ex-wife that he's got to pay alimony or child support to, and he's still got college to pay for. So I would suspect that Suzanne has more disposable income than Avery. I would suspect that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a gold digger. I know that he said, hey, would you ever consider getting married? She said it ain't her priority. But what I liked about what Suzanne did was she turned some of her no's into yeses. Because what Suzanne said was, I don't even know if I really want to get married. And if I do want to get married, it ain't right now. Maybe by the time I want to get married, it's in 2 years. By then, these kids that Avery has should be, maybe out of college, in college, whatever the case may be. Maybe we'll be even more of a better fit then. And come to find out, Avery don't mind going to no Georgia Bulldog games and rooting for Georgia Bulldogs. He's an Alabama fan because he's from Alabama, but he was willing to go to the games with you and cheer for the Bulldogs, right? So she turned some of her no's to yeses. And as a result, she got to experience some new things in life. She got to just say the yes to the first part. Now she's got a companion, someone to go have fun with, to laugh with, to drink her wine with, to go out on her lake with, to go on some boat rides, right? She lives on this fabulous lake, and she says she doesn't even take the boat out that often anymore because the kids are gone. Well, guess what? Now you can take the boat out and have some fun with Avery. Who cares that he's got a 17 or 19-year-old son? They ain't got to come out there on the lake with you, right? So I like what Suzanne did. Of all the people on the show, I think Suzanne successfully navigated the experiment the best because what she did was she turned a couple of her no's into yeses. And that's what everyone needs to do. Go sober. All you controlling people who don't want to change whatsoever, pick something you can change on and turn a couple of them into yeses. Please try it. Try it. Even Pam turned a couple of her no's into yeses. Pam has been a recluse, almost a hermit, out here 50 miles away from Metro Atlanta. She didn't even want to go in Atlanta. It's too much traffic. It's too much this. It's too much that. She meets this man. What was his name again? Dwight. Dwight is operating a tour company in the city of Atlanta, taking women around to different places or whatever. Guess what Pam say yes to? It may be a no to the romantic relationship with Dwight, but guess what it's a yes to? It's a yes to getting out of this rural town that I live in that just got internet. It's a yes to driving into the city and engaging with other people, being a tour guide along with Dwight, talking, which is what Pam loves to do, cracking jokes. She said yes to something new. She said yes to leaving her comfort zone and doing something new and trying something new. And even though she didn't find love with Dwight, she found a new hobby. She found a new social scene. She found a new thing to intermingle with different people. She added some joy into her life. But what it took to add joy into her life was not a person coming into her life and giving it to her. It was her going out and getting it. That was the difference. I think she also was a success story. She might didn't find love, but she added a new dimension to her life. She really did. But like I said, I enjoyed the whole series. I really did. I hope y'all did too. I hope you enjoyed the reviews, and hopefully I'll see you guys on some other videos. Be sure to check out my channel, all my videos on my channel, the shows that I review. And maybe you can join me over there for the ultimatum, which I'm about to start this weekend. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.